Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Local Pundit. I'm Josh Anthony. This is your Wrexham reaction for match day 24. Barnsley 2, Wrexham 1. Yes, traveled away to Oakwell on day 1 of January 2025, and we dropped points. But it's a lot to get into tonight. Apologies that there was no Wrexham Rextra time. I wanted to be cognizant of the call-in show just because of Patty and everyone else out there. But I couldn't resist coming in and doing the Wrexham reaction because, went out, spent the time with the family, with Ann. And when to come in, I saw the interviews come up, and I was like, shit, I can't leave everyone hanging there for that. So apologies for Rextra time not happening, but maybe we'll get some calls if we want there too. Anyways, please smash the like on the video and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed to the Local Pundit, become a member, part of the members club. And we got some. Listen, we didn't. I always say never get too high, never get too low. That said, we have to be honest in certain ways and understand the football club, understand how we're supporting it, and not just blindly just go, oh, it's great, it's great. Someone said, and I'm not calling anyone out, that's a good loss this today after the loss. And I understood why they said it. So I'm going to give them credit for understanding why they said it. But the more I sat with that, and I was like, I'm fucking fuming because there's never a good loss. There's no points for second place, things like that. And we're trying to get promoted here. And listen, we won out of the last 10 games. It's been 7 wins, 2 draws, and 1 loss. Unbelievable return. Unbelievable return. All right. And I can't hold that to anybody to say like, hey, Parkinson needs to know better, all these things. I don't know what's going on with the chat there, but okay. How you doing, Welsh Techie? Apparently it's going to be huge today. So, but I sat with this too. I was fuming, absolutely fuming. But it didn't. I'm not letting it ruin out my day or anyone else's day too. But I sat with that and it's fuming because we have so much potential and the opportunity is right there in front of us. And we shot ourselves in the foot today. There was other opportunities that happened. The good news is, that let me see here that. Who lost today? Well, we lost Birmingham City drew today. Okay, they drew 1-1 with Stockport, so that's a good. Wickham Wanderers went on and continued to win as they have been doing. But that's the only good news of today. The second good news of today. And Welsh Techie, you were there. I want to get your thoughts on that first half. If you want to come in and have a say, let me know if you're awake to do so. Have a come in. You can come in and have a go, and I'll get my reaction here too. The first half, to me, I don't know what's going on with our defense. I don't know. They're targeting Max. They're coming down that left side. They just looked more crisp than we were today, especially going into that first half. Second half, we did pick it up. Now, I always say we never give up. We always wear our hearts on our sleeve. We go and we do our thing. We never Mullen crashing into the horde. Awesome, and he got back up and he battled there. But I also thought he should have been to protocol. But it's disappointing. We're not used to losing games. And I want to hear. So we have 2 interviews coming up with Max Cleworth and with Parkinson. I have not listened to them, but I will put this up. Max, blink twice if you need help. I mean, look at that. He looks terrified. And Max has been one of our better plays this season. He didn't have a good game today, even though he scored. Defensively, I'm not sure what's going on back there. It's because of Chomp's back there. We miss AO, all these things. And I don't want to get crazy, but it says warning signs. And there are some warning signs where if we don't nip shit in the bud, it could bite us in the ass. We're in January right now. We have a problem. Come at me all you want. We have a problem up front. We do. I do not understand the Palmer thing. I don't get it. He was hooked at halftime. And he brought on Fletcher. And Fletcher, we know, has a knee issue, okay? And it's not just Palmer's fault. I just don't get it. I simply don't get it. Yes, we haven't lost the game when they started together. I understand all the facts that Adrian and Rousey and everyone else will say, oh, you're on too harsh. I don't get it. We could be so much better. He knows his job. He does a job, effort, blah, 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 all the shit, all this. I get it. I just don't get it. We could be better. And I know Parkinson likes to go to the well, get all hands to the pump of the people that he trusts. I understand that. I understand there were issues today. Elliot Lee had a knock. Okay. Mofal was ill. He resisted putting Budvarsson on to the 89th minute. There's some warning signs there. And you can't take away from the credit of what they've done. I'm just taking today. So take it in there. Come, and don't be like, oh, shit, we're gonna die. No, that's not what I'm saying. There's a lot of things we need to. There's some things we need to just talk about and address as adults here. Yes, understandably so. We're not going to go. Oh, we're going down. I still think we're going up, but there are warning signs we need to solve. Techie also goes on to say, big mistake in the first half. Worked hard to get back in the second half, but damage was done. James and Dobson do not work. Yes, Palmer looks like he's been thrown toys out of his pram. Well, I didn't see that. But let's say, text me or get in here if you want to have it. But there's some things that I'm just like, shit, man. I'll give credit where credit's due, by the way, going after Glenview first. And Hip Karma just woke up. Tess is in the house. I would love to hear Walt Dutchy why he feels the way he feels about James and Dobson. He's happy to come on. I will open this show up if we want to. Again, Goofy Splat says, it says something when Fletcher looks to be our most threatening player when going forward. And he is. He actually is. He's confident. He's agile. He's not just looking to knock the ball down. He's looking to make plays. But we can't have a 37-year-old guy with a bad knee. He played 45 They played 55 minutes today because we played an extra 10, although the time wasted was absolutely ridiculous that went on there. And he's our best striking option at this moment. I thought also today, let me pull this back too. I'll talk about Max in a second. I see it there, Techie. Well, all right, we'll just change it all up right now. Let's do it. I'll drop the link. I don't care. We're dropping links. I'm going to pull this down. I'll drop the link. Anyone else? You know what? Fuck it. Here we go. Let's do it. There we go. Come on in. Come on in. Everyone come in. Anyone come in and have their say. We'll do 2 shows today. We'll do 2 shows today. And this knows my apology to Patty. I know he usually does the reaction show, but damn it. Hide, stop. Okay, there's the link. And I want to talk about Max too. And I haven't heard the interviews yet, but we're going to do that. But yes, Vartan will be gone very soon. I think Vartan will go. But the Palmer thing, who else? I get the Palmer thing. Who else is going to play there? I get Tess. You're right. We don't have another option. You cannot start a 36-year-old, 37-year-old out there with a dodgy knee. He is. Techie's in the background. Let me know when I think you're dark or driving. I'm going to take a risk. I trust him. There you go. What's up, brother?
Hey,
brother. How are you? I'm all right.
So I've just stopped. I'm charging the car. I am so just stopped. That's why it's very dark. Yeah, very, very, very disappointing 45 minutes, and then a very, very exciting 45 minutes. But the damage was just too much by that point. Yeah, James and Dobson. The problem you've got is they're both defensive midfielders. Dobson today pushed much further forward, and it just doesn't suit him. He's not quick enough. He's not fast enough to do that. No. To do that, you need a pacey midfielder to do that forward position, and he's not quick enough. He's just not quick enough. He can't get to the ball quick enough. So it didn't work. It didn't work. I thought Rathbone was the only real player for me who absolutely across the whole 90 minutes.
Techie, did you see at the end of the game when he put the cross in and then he came to the other side of the pitch and went and took the ball off the guys? I think it was in the 92nd minute. I'm just like, are you shitting me? Like, he is an unreal engine, but yeah, that's unbelievable. He did look decent. At that point we looked good. He's the best player in there. The Dobson thing, though. So let's take that on real quick. He was our best player for how long now in the beginning of the season? Is he tired? What's going on? But did Matty James throw it all off? They don't work together. I know we brought that up a couple of days ago. I think you talked about it.
I just think they are two. The two of them are two similar players, and I think James technically is a slightly better player than Dobson. Yeah. So the problem you have is that you have two very similar players who don't. If you're playing a 4-4-2, it's fine. You just stick them both in the center, and you're great. You've got a nice defensive shield right in front of the back four. Yeah. But if you're playing a central 3, you're out of balance because you've got 2 defensive midfielders. One of them is trying to push up as an attacking midfielder when they don't play that role, and then you've got Ollie on the other side, Ollie Rathbone on the other side, who's running around like a terrier dog, trying basically to cover all the attacking midfield roles. He can't be all those things. So Palmer, for me, I'm really sorry, and I'm sorry for all you people who love Palmer. I'm not seeing what he's giving us at the moment. He's not giving us anything. He's not winning headers. He's not taking second ball down to anybody. He's hitting it into areas where he thinks people might be, but there's no communication. Today, you'd think that Mullen and Palmer had never played before. They had no contact between them whatsoever today.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know whether anybody noticed, but at the end, the players did come round. They did come and applaud us in the away end. No sign of Palmer. In fact, I didn't see Palmer come back out after the interval.
Yeah, so Matt said the same thing. Matt said, was Palmer on the bench after he got pulled? We didn't see it on our end. Apparently, you didn't see it. Nope. And I didn't see it. And that's whatever. Maybe he got injured. Maybe whatever. Maybe there's something else going on. We don't know. But everyone says like the results. They'd love to play together. We don't have a solution right now. Correct. We don't have another solution because you cannot play Fletcher for 90 minutes. You just can't. And God, I hope he's okay. Hope he didn't get injured today, whatever. But you cannot continue to do that. And that's what I'm saying. Are the warning signs there? And my question also too, and we'll talk about the defensive line, the defensive backs with Max and everything in a second. My issue is I don't think Parkinson's going to go into the market for a striker. I could be terrifiedly wrong, but I don't think he's going to do it. I really don't. I don't think he's going to do it.
I think I know what you're saying. I understand that, but I think he has to.
Yes,
he has to. It doesn't matter what he wants.
Mm-hmm.
He only has to look today and see the whole. And I'm sure you're going to show the interviews.
I haven't seen
shortly.
it yet. Yeah, I will.
Because I'm not going to stay much longer. But if you look at the interviews, the usual Wrexham whitewash, ask the same questions, no real questions that the fans actually want to know. As in, why isn't Palmer doing his job? Why is Mullin off the boil? Why are you playing Dobson and James in a game where, Barnsley have the worst home winning record so far this season? So why aren't we being more attacking?
Yeah.
Why aren't we being more attacking? Why are we being so defensive? I don't get it when we're at home. Why are we now doing it when we're away, when we're against a team who are not that good at home? And they weren't. If you look at them, apart from the two shots, one of them we gifted them, thanks to Onaconn falling over. Apart from that, they had zero, nothing at all. We battered them in the second half. And it was only their keeper really who kept them in it.
Oh.
It should have been 3-2 or 4-2.
It should have been 3-2. It should have been 3-2 for sure. On our favor, it should have been 3-2. You're right. There's those games. You see it like no matter what, the ball's not going in the net. You know what I mean? Granted, we got the goal from Max. But it was a scramble. We had 3 or 4 scrambles, and all of a sudden Max pops up, puts it in the back end. The keeper was doing well. This is one of those days like we're never going to score. No matter what happened, we're never going to score. And we did, but it's just not enough. You know what I mean? And talking about Max, let's stay there. What's going on with the back line and Chomp? How close with AO getting back? Why is Scar? What's going on with O'Connell? Things like that. But all those questions I'm asking. They're targeting Max on the left side.
There's no. Again, Chomp is there. He's doing a job. Okay, true. Because he has to. There is nobody else. Okay, yep. But he is not somebody. Ideally, you would put in this position because he's not good enough. He was good enough at League 2. He's not good enough at League 1, okay? Mm-hmm. I think the stats at the moment are of the last 6 shots on target, 5 of them have been goals.
And he made a great save today, too. He actually made a great save today.
He made a great save today, but that you can't do that once and then let in 5. And there's no coincidence that we had a 5-game clean sheet streak. And as soon as Arthur and Burton got injured, that streak stopped. Mm-hmm. So that's not a coincidence for me. Either you can't completely blame Howard, although I need him to come out more and stop being rooted to his line. I need him to go for crosses more and stop being rooted on his line. You can't completely blame him though. But again, the defensive unit is the keeper and the defenders in the line, and they have to communicate with each other. Today, there were huge amounts of time where they weren't talking to each other, and particularly the fact is that you put Stash in there, who basically was covering for Brunt.
Yep.
There were huge amounts of time where I could see Tom O'Connell looking around, going, "Where am I supposed to be?" And O'Connell was running around trying desperately to cover everything. Mm-hmm. And I'm not sure about Max. I don't know what's going on with Max. I don't know whether he's tired. It seems to be a lack of confidence because there are times where he's got a huge amount of space in front of him and you're thinking, Go with the ball, take it, drive into the open position. Give yourself another 10 yards, then work out what to do with it. You're 10 yards closer to their goal. But he didn't. He just stood there stock still, looked around for a bit, and then pumped a long ball. And you're thinking, but you've got space in front of you, and you're not being challenged. Go, take it. But
I'm wondering if he's trying to. I'm wondering if he's trying to like emulate what Brunty's been doing on the other side, because he doesn't have the feet for it. Max is a pure defender. Speed. He's not a push forward guy. You know, even though he does get forward a lot, but he has lacked a little bit of confidence, and I think that might be because Barney's trying to be more of a winger than a defender, and he's getting put out there, and we're not covering that space. And he tends to boot the ball long, and he's been told to put that angle on. So I'm just wondering, maybe that's part of it too. And I don't want to listen. He's one of our best players and a young kid, and I don't want to get on him. But we have to have these conversations, like what's going on. Are you think so? Stash coming in didn't like what he was doing, or you think he didn't work with O'Connell?
No. I thought no. In fact, of the three of them, I thought he was the best today. He was the best. Yeah. Because I felt that he was getting to more headers. He was pushing up more. He was taking the ball more. But at times when they were attacking, I felt O'Connor wasn't quite sure he knew where to be, because he's not played in the back line for a while. And obviously, as they work in training, they work in blocks of three. You see them on the warm-up. They'll work in their block of three, doing defensive drills. They'll do that the same in training as well. But obviously, if he already knows who he's going to put in the back three, he will concentrate on those back three to do their drills, and then everybody else will drill on their own, or they might be a drill, 11 versus 11, or short-sided game 6v6. So if O'Connor's not playing alongside O'Connell and Cleworth, I think he's just not sure where he's going. The thing is, you've got to remember, again, a stat I saw today, I think it's something like 7 of the last 6 goals have all come from that right-hand side.
It's the same play. It is literally the same play.
So the problem you have is that Barney is not a defender.
He's not. He's a winger.
He's a winger. So I'm wondering if Max is worried because of the amount of times that it's got round Barney. He's thinking, well, I don't want to stray too far away because I don't want to isolate Barney and leave him under threat, because that's how they're getting round. And Keeler done today took us apart in the first half. Absolutely took us apart.
He looked good.
Absolutely took us apart today.
And you got to give them credit. There was crisp passing going on, and to a team, they were 1 point out of the promotions. But they looked like they were, they looked like a solid team. I don't know who the manager was, but they're ready and they're home. And we got punched. We were good for the first 8 minutes, and all of a sudden, the wheels fell off real flat. Real flat.
But again, it's that whole thing of we hit them hard, we hit them fast, but we didn't convert that into any real threat apart from the goal, which was offside.
Yeah,
that was it. Apart from that, there was no real threat. There were no real shots on goal. There was nothing that was threatening. And all it took from them is to do that, pump that ball up, and then we shut off for 30 seconds, and hey presto, it's all over. And the second goal was, I don't know. It was, Owen O'Connell's done this before. He makes a mistake, and then he compounds the mistake by trying to fix the mistake.
Yep.
And I'm probably, I don't know what your thoughts are, but I think, because this normally happens, I think Saturday, I think we'll see Scar. I think O'Connell will go for a rest because he looked tired. He looked absolutely knackered at the end.
He looked knackered. I think when he got his eye hit a couple weeks ago, not that he does, like should have had him come off, take a little time. I wanted to see Scar. I don't know what happened. They talk about O'Connell pushing the ball out better, passing the ball better. That's not what a defender. He doesn't need to do that job if you're playing the 2 central defensive midfielders, which he's doing. He also lost the ball in the middle of the park. He had his best game, I think, 1 game ago, in a while. But what did Scar do? I don't understand Parkinson's thinking about certain things, why he drops people, why he didn't play Duffs. Maybe, I don't know. There's got to be some rotation. But I'll say I need Scar back in that lineup just to see. Just right?
The problem is Scar is an old-fashioned centre-back,
100%.
Stays within 20 to 25 yards of the goal, doesn't want to go any further, heads the ball out, gets physical, gets in there. O'Connell is more of the modern defender, whereas he will play out. I mean, I don't know what you're seeing, but at times he was past the halfway line when Wrexham were really pushing up.
2 games in a row.
Absolutely.
2 games in a row he's done this. I'm like, the fuck are you doing? Get back. He's out of position. So who's covering that position? Yeah.
He's pushing wet because that's the kind of defender he is. He tries to play the ball all the way and almost acting as a as a defensive midfielder rather than a centre back.
Yeah.
That's the difference. I think O'Connell plays the game that Parky wants, as in a defender who plays out all the way, not just somebody who stands and defends the box. Whereas Scar is that kind of person. That's probably why.
He's got Brunty and he's got O'Connor there. He's got Brunt and O'Connor there. He can have those two guys there, but did O'Connor? I don't know if O'Connor was injured. He hasn't been playing. He fell out with them a little bit, but like he has those guys that can do that job. Because O'Connor for me is a CDM. He's a midfielder who's playing in defense, and he does win great headers. So that's my thought. So if you want to play Scar, then put him on there. So do you think it all stems back from losing AO? Because you said it's all one unit, and it is all one unit. And when do you think we'll see AO back?
Possibly Saturday. If not Saturday, definitely Port Vale, because Port Vale's doesn't really matter. I mean, it should matter because now we're into the last 16, but it doesn't really affect the league, which is the important bit. It will depend really on because they'll train tomorrow, and they'll do setups on Friday and ready for Saturday. So it will depend, I think, about how Arthur trains tomorrow. If he trains well, I mean, my brother was with me and he said to me, I don't understand. If Arthur is on the bench, then surely he's fit enough to play.
Yeah. Why? So, let's say Chomp gets hurt in the 5th minute. I think Patty said it the other day. He gets hurt in the 5th minute. You got to put him in anyway. So
absolutely. And I think it is let's put Arthur on the bench because we don't want to put any of the other keepers because they're not good. They're not good enough. Just in case.
The kids look good. I don't know if he looked pretty. I mean, he looked decent in his debut.
Yes, he did. Yeah, but when you look at the level he's played at, he's only really played at National League. Apart from his. So I think it's too high a pressure to put him in versus a team like Barnsley, who even though they weren't that old great shakes, I think it's a little bit unfair to put him in that position. But I think the idea was that he put Arthur on the bench and was like, "We'll use Arthur if we absolutely have to." Yeah. But my concern is the problem is Howard is 38 years old. His body is. I think he's having problems trying to play so many games in such a short period of time, which is why I think.
Sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
I think that's why we might see Arthur on Saturday. I think Howard has reached his limit because he's now played 3 games in 9 days, and I think for somebody of his age, I think that's probably too much.
There were a couple times, and I'm 44. He's 38, whatever it is. And you saw like him trying to come out for the ball. I'm like, he didn't look too athletic. And granted, he's an athlete. I get it, but I'm like, shit, man. It's like he didn't look too comfortable. Like he didn't open his legs up. You know what I mean? But I'll give him the credit of this. He got down and had a nice save because it could have been 3-0 at that point.
Absolutely. I think because Saturday's Peterborough and they're in big trouble at the moment, and I think because we're home, I think Parky will probably think, well, do you know what? If we put him in, I don't think Peterborough are going to be much of a threat, so let's put Arthur in. That's my thoughts. So I think it's probable that we'll see Arthur on Saturday, but if not, we'll definitely see him against Port Vale because Parky will want to get him some minutes before we get back into the league. So
Before you go, I want to talk about. I know you're charging your car. I've been there. McLean. Do we need this guy rest a little bit and give Rev some minutes? I know he's our captain, and but I just something a little bit different on that side.
I think you won't have to worry about that. I think he'll get yellow carded twice in at least the next 4 games, and I think then he'll have a 2-game ban. So I don't think that'll be an issue. Then you'll have to put Rev on for the 2 games. I mean, let's put it this way: he will play Saturday.
I'm not saying he's the problem, but I'm just like
no. He was one of the better players. He 100%. Got again. I don't know whether you saw this on telly, but he was having a niggle with the guy on the left, their right side defender. He was having a niggle all the way through the match with him, and they did something off the ball, which I think, excuse my French for anybody who's listening, but I think McLean grabbed his balls.
Oh, really?
Because the guy went down way off the ball, and all their fans went nuts. And I just glimpsed it out of the corner of my eye that basically McLean backed into him, and I saw his hand. I'm not sure, and I can't.
He did a whole chopper on him, right?
I think he did. I think he got a good handful. Because the guy went.
Sorry, I think it was because The guy got up and I was like, I think he's holding his groin. I think I said on the
Yeah.
watch. Yeah, and he like kind of what I think it's like number 28 or whatever it was. That kid, I think you're right. If that, I wouldn't be surprised. Chopper on him.
It's a Vinnie Jones.
Vinnie Jones, yeah, Vinnie.
We call it Vinnie Jones because Vinnie Jones did it, and I think that's what he did. I think the guy was absolutely smashing into him a lot, and McLean didn't like it, and also the ref. I mean,
No, the
I'm not going to moan about. I'm not going to moan about referees, but the guy was the it swings roundabouts. It swings and roundabouts.
Yep.
Sometimes you get things your way, sometimes you don't. The referee definitely wasn't interested in anything we would do today.
Yeah,
so,
Robert Green was not on our side today. I think if you go back and look at the keeper, probably wasted 4 minutes himself. I'm being appreciative, but he wasted time, and all of a sudden 90th minute, he's like card. It's just. But on that note, we have to. I think do you think that we're acting like a club that's humbled to be here rather than taking charge? Because I think we have more about us, and I'm like, I feel like the handbrake needs to come up. Like I'm waiting for that game where it's like, holy shit! It's like, what happened here? I feel like we have more to give, which is why the Palmer thing frustrates the shit out of me. Because, and I will also say too, I think Mullen had a good game without scoring. He looked confident. He was going out there. But we have more to give. That's kind of what I'm saying. Like I'm so frustrated because we have more to give, and I'm so happy where we are. But that's where my frustration comes.
Mullen needs to concentrate on being up front and stop moving into midfield. That was annoying me because I'm like, there are times where I want Mullen in the box, not taking a ball forward midfield on the left or the right, because that's the midfielder's job. Get in the box and do your job as a striker. Get ready for that ball to come in and put the ball in the back of the net. So that's a bit annoying. He played better after he got clattered.
Mm-hmm.
He was really angry, and you could see that he was really furious with the fact that the guy had knocked. Even though it was just, I think it was just 6 of one and a half dozen the other, because unfortunately Mullen had fully committed into trying to hit a ridiculous shot at full pace, and the defender did. He was just trying to guide him away from the goal. But
at that pace, all you have to do is just do a little bit of these. That's it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. But I think I just think Mullen just needs to remember that he's a striker and stop trying to be everything. And you're saying about the needs to take the handbrake off. I don't think it's that so much. I think they go for it and play their game and do what we know they can do. And then when it doesn't work, they panic.
Yeah.
And you kind of go, just relax. You can, do your job. Do your job's what you got to do. You know you can do it. You know you've got the skill levels. I mean, as I say, that for that second half today, Barnsley had nothing. Absolutely zero.
We battered them. We did.
Unfortunately, all the damage was done in those 2 moments in the first half.
Mm-hmm.
If it wasn't for that, we'd have definitely won the game today. So you can do it. Stop panicking when it doesn't go your way. Relax. And as you relax, because the problem is, I mean, with sport, a lot of it's in your head. If you get into your own head, you can't then perform correctly. So then you start to panic and you start to overtry. We see that with Mullen. We see it a lot with. I mean, as I say, Owen O'Connell panicked. You could see that straight away that he was being closed down. And instead
I have to fix this now.
I have to fix it. I've got to fix this now. Exactly, and panicked. And then by panicking, made it worse.
Mm-hmm.
And you're kind of going, just relax, Owen. It's just play the ball back. I mean, there was a little bit for me where I do feel that maybe somebody could have supported him a bit better so he could make a more simple pass. But, that's hindsight, really. They probably just trusted him and thought, he can get himself out of this. But it wasn't the only time this happened. He nearly got caught out twice in the second half where he had the ball. We were comfortable position.
He reminds me a little bit of Harry Maguire a couple of years ago, trying to prove that he's worthy of the spot.
I
know you probably didn't watch a lot of Harry Maguire, but like trying to prove that he's worthy of that spot, going outside of yourself. But if you just stay in what you do, which stay within yourself, you're fine. He, like you said, he made a mistake and he tried to compensate and he made a second mistake. It's like, and I don't want to put it all on him. I don't want to put it all on Palmer. I don't want to put it all on the manager, all that stuff. And and now you talk about the interviews there too. Same recycled bullshit. I mean, shit. I can write it down. Someone asked him a probing. Sorry. No, you're gonna have. Go ahead.
You're never going to get it from the club interviews. They will never do, because it's not journalism. It's
Mm.
it's ticking a box.
It's on their site. What are you going to do? Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
You know, it's basically just to give the fans something, but they're never going to be in depth, and they're never going to ask those questions. You need the journalism to do that. You need the radio stations, or you need the sports channels to do that, and they don't give them access to
No.
that. You know, even the radio stuff. Most of the time, when Radio Wales interview, we don't hear the interview, or you'll hear what is recycled from the press room after the Wrexham guys have already asked their questions.
Well, that's why I go to Leader. I go to Leader and I go to BBC, and I'm like, oh, they're just regurgitating exactly.
Yeah. I mean, Parky. When you look at the interview, Parky looked a bit tetchy anyway. So I think they were kind of like, do you know what? I think we're not going to ask him any questions because he's probably going to get. Because the problem is obviously those media guys are employed by Wrexham AFC, so they have to be careful because you can't tick off the boss. You know, it's very staged, and I get annoyed as well because funny enough, we were talking in the car and Kelly, Jamie's wife, said it's the same questions over and over again. I am so bored with it. Why isn't somebody asking the questions that need to be answered? Mm-hmm. And we said the same thing because it's the media team of the club. They're not going to. They're just gonna roll out something that will be good for the media channel, but not actually anything. You know.
Well, on this one too. On this one too. Like, what is Max doing there? Why is Max doing the interview? He should be the captain.
I know. Yeah. Well, he scored the goal. He scored the goal. That's probably why they've.
I know, but we lost the game. It should be Macca in there going, "Hey, we weren't at our best today. X, Y, and Z. Whatever it is, it shouldn't be the 22-year-old. It should be the fucking captain." I'm not yelling.
Should be. No, you're right. No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
Right here on his chest, it's on us. We got to do better. Don't put it on the 22-year-old kid who went out there. Yeah, he scored a goal. That's all glory. We still lost the freaking game. You know what I mean? Yeah. And we're and my anger and frustration. It's not anger. My frustration is. And I said this a couple weeks ago, we are in a capper position to actually do something really special here. We needed to, and that's why I said the warning signs are there. We have to capitalize on this too. And it is January, and we could do some business. I'm not convinced. I could love to be wrong that he's going to do the business to get people in. I think but Varton's going to go, maybe a couple others. I don't know why Mendy was on the bench today. He didn't even use him. I mean, it's weird some things. But how far are you away from home?
I've got another hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you this. We heard you guys singing today. All you guys.
To be fair, all the 3,000 of us were absolutely singing our hearts out today, and that was great. And they only piped up after they scored their goal. Usual story for the home fans. They stay very quiet until they score, and then they get very vocal. But it was. I mean, it was disappointing. It was annoying. Mm-hmm. It was frustrating. Parky should have loaded us up earlier, not putting young daddy on with 2 minutes to go.
90 seconds left to go. That's what I was saying. Go two at the back. Go for it. We have it.
Chuck it on. Chuck them on. Even when we were 2-0 down, it doesn't matter by that point. You can be 3 or 4-0 down. Chuck them on. Get us more threat up front. Yep. So we could, because they were already creaking before he made any changes. They were already creaking. So let's really load them up and let's push their defense, because you never know, we might be able to get, a couple of goals and come away with a draw. Because I'd have taken a draw. I'd have definitely taken a draw, and I thought that's what we deserved today. We definitely.
I would have taken a draw today too. Seriously, I would have taken a draw today too. After not even I don't like to do prediction score because it's stupid. You're always going to want to win. But I would have taken a draw today too, just because of how we've been. And a 7-2-1 return is pretty goddamn good. You know what I mean? So I'll take that. But I think our frustration lies where we can be better, and we and I know everyone hates us for that. Everyone hates Wrexham because we're the worst side that's ever come. No, we're really not. We know how to go and do our business. So I'm wondering, I'm just wondering what we're going to do in this January transfer window. I'm wondering.
Sides don't have to go out and blitz everybody.
Yeah.
You just win the game. You win dirty. You win calmly. You win quickly. You just win. You just win. That's how all the teams in the past have won the difficult games, by sneaking a 1 goal or a 2-1. It's
Yep.
not about going out and blitzing everybody. So I have no thing with all these people who say, "Oh, Wrexham are the worst team I've ever seen. They're terrible." Well, if we're that terrible, why are we third?
Why are we second or third? Why? Yeah,
Why,
and
we wouldn't be in this position if we were that terrible. We'd be in the relegation zone.
yeah, and
so,
if you were better, you'd beat us. Oh, you'd beat us consistently. You know what I mean? So we're doing something right. 100%.
You're just goosed because basically we played at 50% and we still beat you.
Yeah.
That's why they're annoyed.
Yeah.
And that's fair enough. That's up to them. But I don't
Yeah.
buy this thing of oh, Wrexham are the worst team I've ever seen. Well, you want to come and sit from our end and
Yeah.
watch you, and then
Yeah.
you'll see the worst team. Because don't get me wrong, Wigan were fantastic. I thought Wigan were absolutely brilliant, but Blackpool weren't all that.
Yeah.
And today Barnsley weren't all that, and they were at home.
No, they were at home, and I'm sure something come in. Dan Morris says, pace, pace, pace. We always look slow. Steve Barton, thank you for the super chat. He's frustrated. We are a better team as fans. We should have glorious celebrated today's match. Yeah, we are the better team, but that's football. You know what I mean? It is what happens. And John Merrill dropped points today, too. Hey, there he is. That a handsome face. Birmingham City dropped points today, too. And we didn't cap. I think I wanted to capitalize on it, but we're not going to win every game. And I understand that. But I do think there are some warning signs that Parkinson needs to be like, all right, shit, okay. The Mullen thing is an issue for me. The defensive line, we had a solid defense. I think once we get AO back, I think Parkinson needs to lose a little bit of his own shackles, in my opinion. And I don't want to tell him. I don't want to tell him how to do his job, but that's why we're here on the punt.
I know what you're saying about Parky won't want to, but he has to, and he knows that. He only has to look today and other times where we've struggled, particularly away from home. He has to look at that and say, "Do you know what? We need to shore up. We need some more creativity in midfield. We need something a bit more sharper up front."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I hate. I mean, obviously, Arthur's going to come back, which is great, but you can't then rely on Howard as our second keeper. We need to get a second keeper in to back up until Callum Burton comes back.
You think we're going to go get another keeper too, as well?
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised. Somebody probably is used to being the reserve in a championship side or a high League One side, because you can't rely on Howard. Because what if? So let's say, for example, Arthur Okonkwo plays Saturday.
Sorry to cut you off. Hold on, Techie. You can rely on Howard, just not this much. You know what I mean?
No, absolutely not. No. And as a stopgap for one game or half a game, then he's fine.
Not 3 in a row. No.
You can't put him on a 4 or 5 game link and expect him to be able to do miracles. That's why he's not the reserve keeper at this level, at this standard. We need somebody to come in and be a reserve keeper until we can get Callum Burton back, and that's not going to happen for this season because barring a miracle, he's not going to be back anytime soon. So, and again, what happens? We go Saturday. Let's say we put Arthur in. What happens if his wrist isn't fully healed? He breaks it again. We then have to put Howard back in, and then it could be that Arthur's out for another 5-6 matches. You can't. You're going to cut us off at the knees. We'll have no chance then of getting promotion.
Yeah,
no chance whatsoever.
There's a balance there too, for sure. It's funny because going into the season, you probably say the same thing. Oh shit, we have a really deep team. We have been hit. We have been hit by the injury bug, like up and down the pitch, up at every position. Where it's like, I thought we had cover here. Whose two top strikers go down? One at the beginning of the season, JM in the middle of the park. Evans is out, and then the back line, you lose Max for a bit, and you lose 2 of our top 1 and 2 goalkeepers. That's insane, like that doesn't happen. On that, how far are we from JM?
Well, if he's running on grass week before last, I think he's probably got another couple of weeks on grass, and then we can start to be put in. So you'll start. I mean, you never know, because if Farl is still ill, it could be that he makes the bench Saturday. You never know.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah.
And he can give him. Again, it's Peterborough, so we have to treat it as Peterborough at the moment are a dog's dinner. They absolutely can't buy a win.
What they do now? So I'm going to try to check their form.
I think they lost. They were losing.
Oh yeah. So here's their form. Ready? Oh, so it's loss, win, loss. They drew today.
Drew. Okay, they pulled back to a draw.
Yeah. Against
we're at home. We're at home, unbeaten in 20. They are on they've drawn after a 3-game losing streak. That this is the time where you could say, well, yeah, you know what? Let's put Marriott in for 10 minutes at the end. start to run him up, because they will be a recovery plan where he'll do 10 minutes for a couple of games, then 20 minutes for a couple of games, very similar to what happened to Mullin. He came in, if you remember, right at the end of his first game, did like 5-10 minutes. That's it, just to start getting him sharp again. And it'll be the same with Marriott. So you never know. You might see him. You might see him on. You might see him on Saturday. You might see him on the bench for the Virtue Trophy. You never know. But I don't think he's far. I don't think he's far off. I don't think he's far off
either. I mean, it's been a few months. 4 months is a long shout. Just to probably get him up to speed. And also too, Evans. What happened? Where's he at?
Well, he's been warming up the last couple of games.
Yep. Was he there today? Travel?
I don't think so. No, I don't think I saw him. But again, the problem you have is George Evans is another defensive midfielder.
But I think he's a Matty James clone. And he controls that line a little bit.
Yes. But I don't think he is. I think Matty James is a better defensive midfielder. So why would you put in? I mean, maybe that means he'll be there on Tuesday, because Parky will have to bring some changes on Tuesday. I know we've got then an extended break after that because we're not playing on the Saturday. Yep. But a lot of those players now have played one game every 3 days for the last 10 days, 12 days. So they are absolutely on their uppers from that point of view. So I think he'll have to make changes on Tuesday whether he likes it or not. And I think it's a good excuse, because we already know that we went to Port Vale, didn't really try particularly hard, and came away with a 1-1 draw. So
yeah, and we'll do the same. We will give. That's my thing about Parkinson. He talked about, and this is my way to recycle. Like, we got to use the squad and do things. Like, you don't fucking change anything. You don't make any changes. And fine, I can't argue. Like, you don't use the squad. That's my fear of, like, are we going to go into market and get a cam or a striker? Even if you do, are you going to use them? I don't know. I don't think he's going to do it.
He'll do as usual. If he buys anybody, they'll bench one for a month, because that's what he does. He doesn't. Apart from Dobson, he's the only one we've seen so far. Everybody else has had to work. Has had to work the NAO, of course. Yeah. But again, he was slow, because if you remember, his first match was a Virtue Trophy match.
Yes.
And then he took ages to actually. He took a couple of games before then he put him between the sticks for the league game. So
and then it took Fozzie being like, I'm out. I'm losing. I can't do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
he had to step in. It's frustrating and annoying. I'm hoping that Saturday, he'll go right. Let's make some changes. Let's put Scar in. Let's keep Dobson out. Let's put Cannon in. Let's be more attacking, because Peterborough are vulnerable. It'll be interesting to see what happens with Mullin, because I've noticed they were doing a concussion protocol with him.
He should have. He should have. That's my one thing. You were there. I was not. But I'm like, if guy goes down that long, it's the head. You got to pull him out. I don't care what it is.
He made a hell of a dent in the boards on the edge of the pitch, because he absolutely clattered into it. If they find that
it was either you or Matt that put it in there. Well, I saw Matt.
It was Matt. Yeah, it was Matt.
Yeah.
The thing is, if he is on concussion protocol, you won't see him for 3 weeks, because that's the rules.
Yeah, but for me, I've had concussions before, and I think I take that very seriously. But but also too, by the way, I'm jumping around here. They stopped. Some guys went down in like the 80th minute, 85th minute, right there. It was only his leg or whatever. He stops play. The ref. I don't want to blame on the ref, but I'm just like, it's so. He was very inconsistent right now. And by the way, Steve Barton says Cristiano Ronaldo is the answer. 10 million quid and equity stake.
I think he's enjoying the delights of Saudi Arabia, so I don't think he's going to come to Wrexham, unfortunately.
Oh yeah, especially since they just got their World Cup there, apparently.
Exactly. Yeah.
Goofy Splat says, wonder when Jamie it could be sooner than we think. I think it could be sooner than we think.
I wouldn't be surprised if I saw him on the Tuesday on the Virtue match and they give him 10 minutes just to see how he would hold up, because although it's the last 16 and it is 3 games from Wembley and all that kind of stuff, in the grand scheme of things with regards to the promotion of the league, it doesn't really matter.
No.
It's almost a training game where you can put in somebody like Marriott and say, right, let's just give him 10 minutes and just say to him, don't go nuts, just have a run about, just do what you can, see how it feels, so you can feed back to us so we can work out then what to do, because obviously they've got this extended break then for just over a week until they play Shrewsbury on the Thursday.
Mhm.
That's a lot of time then for training, so it'll be
We have like
good
2
feedback.
Thursday games in a row, right? We have the 2 Thursday games.
Shrewsbury and then Birmingham.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. You're right. And because you're gonna train
Shrewsbury
anyway.
and then Birmingham.
And by the way, it's a broken.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a broken leg. It's not like he did. I don't know the ins and outs of everything, but you're right though.
The thing is, you can't. It doesn't matter how much you train. You can never. That can never be replaced by actual gameplay.
Oh no, yeah.
So to get some time in an actual game, but be in a game where you're kind of going, well, we need Marriott to be running at 100% because we need the result.
Mm-hmm.
That's invaluable, which is why I wouldn't be surprised at all if we saw him for 10 minutes on the Tuesday.
I see that.
I think Saturday probably is a little bit too soon, and plus, although Peterborough are struggling, I think it's a big risk to put him on.
I look at them all now, by the way, sorry to interrupt. I look at them all now as wounded animals, and they're going to always come after us. So I'm like, everybody in this league is a wounded animal, and they're going to come after us.
Oh, and everybody lifts their game. Everybody lifts their game. And again, you look at the attendance today, apart from Birmingham, who had 83 more people, we have the highest attendance of the season again.
Of course. Yeah.
So
and you guys were up behind that left goal and not a little higher. Why did they have you guys up so high? What happened? What's going on with it? Do you know?
I don't know. I mean, they gave us that whole stand. They gave us 5,000 tickets, and I think we sold 3. So I think, to be honest with you, they probably push everybody up because it's easier to. They don't want people too close to the pitch in case there's any trouble. So they push everybody away and give you 10 rows away from the pitch, and then the marshals can then stand in a line and basically keep us all back, because obviously we're going to cause trouble because we're a bunch of hooligans, obviously.
So much like 80s hooligans. I mean, but we heard you guys. Hey, gals, we heard you very loud.
Do I look like a hooligan, Josh? Look at me.
I mean, with the glasses you do. With the glasses, yeah. No,
how about now?
Yeah, you look a little chavvy.
Right.
By the way, Steve Barton, thank you for the memberships. Absolute legend. I appreciate.
Thanks, Steve.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you, mate. Cheers.
Brother,
let me get off, and so you can do your thing, and then you can get back to your family, because otherwise you'll be here all night. Blwyddyn newydd dda chi gyd. Happy New Year to you all. Sorry that we couldn't get you a result. Trust me, I am as upset as everybody else, because I drove 6 hours there and I'm driving 6 hours back for basically a loss. But there you go. For the love, not the glory. Isn't that right?
Don't let salads win.
Absolutely. Take care, Josh. Have a good one. Speak to you soon.
See you soon. Bye. All right. That is, Stecky, just a great chat there. We just this is what's great. You get into the pub, you get into football, and just start talking and chatting, and just kind of unravel, which is great. So too, it's so good. Please, everyone, get back safely. I know 6 hours up, 6 hours down. That is dedication, and we did hear them all today, which is great. I appreciate all that, what he's doing. I missed a lot of the chat, and I did take care of the chat. I'm so sorry. I apologize. But there's 84 people in here. And so I'll keep it going if you want. I'll divert today, and I'll keep going if people want to come in and have their say. Okay, but I'm going to do this interview real quick, all right? Because that's what we do on the Wrexham Reaction. Here we go. And Techie, what an absolute legend. I'll get to the chat in a little bit too. I will. All right, let's see what Maxie has to say. And I'm almost reluctant because I'm going to be so annoyed.
Max.
So again, he should not be out there as a 22-year-old. The captain should be out there, not the goal scorer. And I appreciate that he scored a goal. Get the captain out there. Why did you fucking lose today?
A goal for yourself, but despite that, a late defeat here. What's your initial assessment after the match?
Frustrating one, to be fair. I think, to be fair, for a lot of the game, and especially second half, it sort of set up for us to give it a go, because sort of we had no other option. But yeah, just sort of like a 10-minute spell where 2 sloppy goals really cost us the game. And look, we had the chances to. Yeah,
I'm as I'm sitting here, this pisses me off. I know he scored. I know it's their media feed. You get the captain out there. Not the 22-year-old defender that came through. He looks, blinked twice, and I actually, he can handle it, but I don't like it. I don't like it. Esteban, thank you very much. Thank you. Happy Merry, all that stuff. I appreciate that. But we'll talk about it in a second. But no, listen, you don't get the 22-year-old kid out there. You get the captain out. He should not be doing this interview. I'm actually this is not how it should be going down.
To probably even take all 3 points, but certainly get something from the game in the second half. But it wasn't to be today, and we move on to Saturday.
Obviously, to not get anything out of the game will always be disappointing. I'd imagine it's very frustrating when you've got 2 quick fire goals that make an uphill task. But there's clearly a spirit to try and put everything that you could to get in that point today, wasn't there?
Yeah, I think obviously, we're all frustrated as a collective in there. It was probably a 10, 15-minute spell in the first half, which ultimately cost us the game. And obviously something we need to look at, I think, overall, especially second half, we really gave it a good go to get back in it, which is probably the minimum which we expect of ourselves. Unfortunately, the quality.
And I'll also say this too. As I say this, he's handling it very well, but it should not be him out there doing this interview. It should not be him. And I appreciate them putting him out there. He did score the goal, but it's not what. Thank you, Steve Barton, for the super chat. Don't stop, Josh. We need to debrief. We can debrief. Let's do it. We're doing the debrief. We do. It looks like a hostage. It does. I feel bad for him. I really do. But he's handling it. This is why he's probably going to be a future captain when we're in the championship for sure.
But he wasn't just quite there to get enough goals to get us back in it.
Clearly, one game won't define your season, and you've shown over the course of this season that the strength of the character and squad is how you react to those setbacks. Just how important is it now that when you go back to the Stoke High-Brass in a few days' time, you show exactly what you have done over the course of the season and show that reaction?
Yeah, I certainly don't think it's a time to get our heads down. It's a big club, expected to be up and around the playoffs, and I think for the most part we've sort of dominated the game. And it was just two goals that sort of took that away from us. But there's a togetherness in the group. That's been there since the gaffer came in, and is still there now. That we'll certainly pick ourselves up and get going again on Saturday.
Max,
he speaks very well. I'll give him that. He does speak very well, but I don't like it then putting out there for that. And listen, they're professional football players. And I'll pull this down. Don't stop, Josh. We need more. Thank you, C. Bart, for the super chat. Again, not lost money. But he does look uncomfortable, but he did handle it. I'll give him that. He did handle it. I don't want him handling that situation. He shouldn't have to handle that situation. And loss. He said all the right things. He did, and it's there. He said all the right things. I get it, but why are you putting a 22-year-old kid out there to do the interview after a loss? Yeah, he scored the goal and battling, but that's bullshit. That pisses me off. That really pisses me off. In a way where it's like, yeah, he's blinking Morse code, but he did handle it, Steve. He did, and that's why he's going to be our future captain. But I don't like that out there. And Paul Kelly agrees. He looks rather uncomfortable there. Yes, in and around the playoffs, given about some of that. We're going up. We're going on automatically. We're going up automatically. That said, listen, put him out there. Don't put him. We lost the match, but we didn't lose the battle. Meaning, like, we're still in third. Drop points for today. But we're okay. Let's see what Parkinson has to say. And Macca should have done the interview. Macca should be doing that interview. 150%, Steve. 150%. Youngest guy in the squad. We get the L, scores the goal. Go out there and do the interview for the channel. Fuck no. Sorry. That's a miss hit. Let's see what Parkinson has to say.
Phil, defeat against Barnsley on New Year's Day. How do you reflect back on that one?
Obviously, first 10 minutes that we controlled it, looked really comfortable.
You did.
Out of nowhere, they've got a goal, which obviously we could have done better to avoid that. Naturally, that's going to give the home team a lift, and then again, the next opportunity it goes 2-0. I still think we played some decent build-up play without really having enough cutting edge. But sometimes over the Christmas period, when teams concede 2 like that, it could go to 3 or 4 if you haven't got character in your team. And
Chomp did well to keep them out, so it could have been 3.
And, I thought we showed incredible resilience second half and quality. And with the chances we've created, how we haven't got smoked from the game, I really don't know. Point blank saves from the keeper, things cleared off the line.
And to be fair, keeper was the man of the match on the other side of things. He was. You got to give him credit for that. Their keeper was outstanding. He was also outstanding in the waste time awards. Absolute outstanding in the waste time awards. 100% the best waste time awards of all time. And I don't know if it was like his brother-in-law was the ref, which you can't play, but like gave him up to the 90th minute to waste time. Awesome stuff. Really great. John Merrill says, you do tend to find after a loss in an important game, it's an experience, but it comes out for the media. Yes. And you know that, and I know that, and everyone knows that. He does, and he did. Yeah. I don't want to say it, but it's not. He should. That's a mishit right there. Back to Parkinson here, and Parkinson. You know what? He knows better.
Got the goal back, and I think if that goal had come early, and I think we would have just drawn it. I'd fancy they still won the game, but it just wasn't to be on the day. I can't fault the lads for the kind of efforts and the quality they showed to get back in the game. Sometimes it just doesn't go for you, and it was one of those days.
I'm going to agree with him on that. And I know the question was kind of just milk toast, but I'm going to agree with him on that. It didn't go our way. And it's not going to go our way, or Birmingham City, or Huddersfield, or Wickham, any football team, Manchester, anyone. It's not going to go your way. It didn't happen today. I think he waited a little too long to make his substitutions, in my opinion. But Vartson, he obviously does not like Vartson. He resist. Literally was like, hey, dude, put a fucking striker on. You got to put striker on, or you're going to put someone up. Like, that's what Parker was saying to him. Hey, Parky, hey, put Vartson on. No, he's a striker. I don't like him. Do it. It's not always going to work out our way. It really isn't. So,
Can you take some pride from the effort and the application, especially in that second half, to come back and really go out there and give it?
It doesn't lead to points.
Put their best foot forward.
Yeah, it was important. We did. We had 3,000 fans behind us who spent a lot of money today, and
money and time, and that's part of sport in the club, and that's exactly what. We just talked to Techie going back 6 hours. So yeah, money and time. I'm frozen.
Now they applauded the lads off at the end because they'd seen a team which has given everything, absolutely everything. And when you have that many chances in a game, clear-cut ones, you normally come away with something. But it just didn't go for us in key moments. And of course, we'll look, could we have done better? But when you get beat, obviously it's always a disappointment, but there's a way to get beat. And the lads have played some terrific stuff today.
There's a way to get beat. Okay, fine. I think Parkinson is what he is. He won't change. I'm not saying that either. John, I agree with you. I actually agree with that 100%. I totally agree with that. Listen, we don't give up in games. He knows that. We know that. But we have to get promoted and get the points. I don't know if he thought maybe we would go there and get the points. He probably thought maybe we could. And we did outplay them. We did. But he won't suddenly change his ways now. And I don't want him to in certain ways. But, yeah, their keeper was the man of the match for sure. But, he knows it. I think he's disappointed because he knows we can play better. But I think he needs to just he needs to turn the dial. We need to go to 11 and not be intimidated. Goofy Flat says, I bet they don't actually get to decide between themselves who does the interview since it's already pre-planned. Goofy, I don't know if it's probably something it's probably something that's happening after the match because how it goes, but we'll see. Parky interview will be the same old crap. Dan Moore, good to see you, brother. Yeah, same old crap. All right, let's finish it up here and get everyone going on their day.
Just to rewind it back to before kick-off, obviously there was one change to the starting lineup with Lewis Brunt and then Elliot Lee and Mo Fowl also not in the squad. Is there any update you can give us on?
Mo Fowl was ill this morning in the hotel, so it was a shame. Elliot felt his hamstring after his substitute appearance.
Maybe you shouldn't have played him. Maybe you shouldn't have been on the bench.
On the 29th, and Brunty has got a slight calf injury.
And just finally, looking ahead to Peterborough now,
that's my one fear: overplaying the players.
We've seen on multiple occasions when your side maybe haven't got the result that they've wanted, it's the strength of the reaction that has shown through in being able to get a good performance in and get the result needed. How important is it now with the 3-day turnaround to go again? And
Yeah, of course, it's always important, whether we won, draw, or subsequently lost. The next game is really important. And I think it's key. We won't be too downbeat. We really won't, because the quality we showed in that second period against good sides. I know Barnsley have struggled at home, but they've just beat Peterborough and they've just beat Bolton away. They've got some really good players. They're a team who traditionally are in the playoff area in this division, and they're going to be right up there. But to create as many clear-cut chances as we did against a good side is enormous credit to us. So we're not going to be too downbeat. But of course, we'll be looking to respond and get back to winning ways against Peterborough.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, he's not talking about being too downbeat. Well, we are. He should be. I know he is. He's full of shit. He is down. He's pissed off they lost that game because we were the better side in the back half and knows he can play better. We got a lot more to do. I put the chat in there too. If someone wants to go back in, I'll give you a couple more minutes here before we get out of here. People want to come and have their say. Please subscribe to the Local Pundit if you haven't already, and share it out to everyone as well, and become a Local Pundit member. Listen, you're gonna get the same stuff out of that, but that's not a guy who's outward facingly saying, "Oh, we're fine," whatever. He has saying we put the effort in, blah blah blah. He knows we lost today. We knows we weren't at our best. But I'm wondering if he's going to take that information back and actually make some changes in certain ways. We got away with a couple games the last time, and I love it. You love the celebration of a Fletcher 90th minute, swinging at it and boom, or the penalty and all that shit. But we should be winning games in a way where it's not as inconsistent. So I can't fault Parkinson for what he's doing. He relies on what he relies on. You're not going to change him. I think. John said it earlier, which is fine. But I'm going to take this one on right here from Paul Kelly. I wish Bavarchman was given a few more starts to see what he is really like. I agree with you, Paul Kelly. This is why my fear is why we're not going to go into the market in January. Paul, this is why I fear we are not going to go into the market in January. And I know we're over an hour here. I apologize for everyone on a New Year's Day. He is who he is, and he is successful who he is. If we bring a striker in, will he play him? Techie said it. You give him the month out. We're getting to late February. That's what I think. So I think he thinks he has enough. I actually think Parkinson thinks he has enough. We'll see what happens. Marie from SoCal missed some of the Techie on. Talk about why Strickland O'Connell was left on and Parky didn't bring on Scott. Yes, we did. Marie, go check it out. And Marie will be with me on the 23rd when we beat. Sorry, did I say that wrong? When we take on Birmingham City, we'll be at the Cosmic Live for a live watch along. Second one. Parky interview, Simon Crap. Yep. Shay Daddy says most clubs pick who does the post-game interview. The goal scorer softens the mood with the press. Shay Daddy, that was the wrong one to do. You can't put that. You can't put the youngster out there, in my opinion. But I don't think you're wrong. Someone got to go and keep Josh company. Come on, peeps. No one wants to do it. It's all good. Let's get everyone out here. It's been over an hour. 85 people here. Please, all. I'm so happy you're here. But I'm going to go spend some time with the producer if no one wants to come in. John also asked a question. What a stupid question. He is hardly going to say no. We just lost, so we're. Sorry, Russell. Good shout, man. Good shout. Nice to Steve Barton, and scoring 2 or less consistently makes us game scary to close. League One clubs will score on us. Clean sheets. Well, we're not done yet. It's not over. Depends on his outlook, Josh. If Amos playoffs, you might. I think, John. I think it's you and us. I really do. You, us, and Wickham. That's it. I think it's 3-2. I said 4-2 before. I think it's 3-2. I really do. We must have goals. I think I would spend all the money on a striker and a cam. I would. And then Parkinson almost needs to be forced to play him. Moneyball style? Yeah, Moneyball style. Yeah, you got to play Hattie. You got to play Tejada, and you got to go. Yeah, Moneyball style. That's what we need to do if we get that far. All right. Thanks for coming in. Apologies we didn't do the call-in show earlier. like I said, I want to be cognizant of people's time, although I appreciate y'all coming in tonight. But thank you all. Happy New Year. Don't let this get you down. We're going to be fine. Everything's going to be okay. Paul Kelly said, thanks for what you do, Josh. I do agree with you on most things with the team. Paul, I value just everyone's opinion. 80% we agree on. I'd like to disagree on the other 20% because I like to have the conversation. I'm not right. I'm just here with the community, doing it with all of you. So this has been fun. And I will, and if I didn't say it earlier, I think I did. I'm going to bring this down real quick. I'm so appreciative of the local pundit community. And I think we did our first like full year of producing shows for Wrexham, maybe 18 months, but this has been a great experience. And I love it. And maybe there's a lot more to come, but I appreciate all of you putting the time in. I think we've done 605 shows, which is a lot. And not just on Wrexham and other things too. So it's really been great. So I want to thank you all. And we had a great 2024. And it's all because of you and the contributors, Ken, Aaron and Patty, and guys that have come on like Walsh Techie and Hip Karma, Steve Barton, all of Goopy Spot, everyone, John coming in, Hip Karma, all the stuff. Dan Moore's been here. All that, everyone in the chat, not just news, the old Reed from SoCal, and all here tonight. But I want to say thank you to everybody. It's been a really, really fun ride. And we're all just getting started. So 25 is going to be a big year. Don't let this get you down. And Steve Barton, love you all, our family. Absolutely. It's one big family. And Happy New Year, Dan Moore says, and the TLP family. Yes, it's been a lot of fun. And the football player audit. There you go. Have a great 2025 and with the channel. Thank you. And you as well. I know he's doing a lot of stuff there too. But yeah, we have a lot more to do. So lost today. It's not over. We have a game on Saturday against the Posh. We will be here live on the local pundit. If anything breaks, we'll be here as of course, waiting for the printer. Maybe to do something different. Paul Kelly, great community. Thank you, everyone. Absolutely. Nikki D. I mean, I can go through everybody. I'd love to. Tess, Techie. I don't know, but I love you all. Okay, I'm getting out of here. Smash a like on the video on the way out, please. Share, subscribe. Thank you for coming in for the Wrexham reaction. And on that bombshell, we'll see y'all soon.